Now available in paperback and e-readers. Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Now available in paperback and e-readers. John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s in this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Get your copy of John Haynes 1987 in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. There are some people who have an issue with the way that I speak. And to these individuals, they think that my cadence is off or that I talk like a robot. And what these individuals don't know is the struggle that I went through to try to rediscover my voice. Now, a long time ago when I was a little boy, I had a very strong voice, and I would do things like participate in things like talent shows when I was about 10 or 11 years old. And I had hoped at one time to be a guy who could be like a comedian and just be funny. However, when I went into junior high school, I wound up running into bullies, and these bullies wound up making it where I didn't feel comfortable about talking at all, because these people would mock the way that I would speak. And over time, I eventually wound up becoming silent at 14 years old in an effort to try to avoid dealing with these bullies who would just make fun of my voice. And I stayed silent for over about 30 years, basically not speaking that much at all, remaining a quiet man in the background. And things got progressively worse around 2002 when I took a job as a receptionist at a law firm. And when I took that job as a receptionist at that law firm, the people at that law firm got so upset about the way I was speaking that they said I was a hostile person as related to being on the phone, and that basically wound up crushing me to the point where after I lost that job, I just wound up stopping to speak at all. And as I got through time, I wound up dealing with anxieties as related to wanting to talk, and I couldn't talk for a very long time, and in that time I did more writing than talking, and I just didn't really want to say anything at all until eventually I got to the point where my writing career had basically hit a plateau. Now, when my writing career hit a plateau as related to the Sean James Black Freelance Writer blog at 2 million hits, I wanted to do something to be able to get more sales for my books. So what I decided to do was finally start looking to do more YouTube videos, because I had originally started a YouTube channel back around 2011 or so, when I started to see black men like Dan Freeman and Mr. Superboy and Heavenly Truth One getting their channels flagged and taken down, and I wanted to speak out for those black men as related to the censorship that was going on at that time. And that was one of the early videos that I did, but then I just didn't feel like I was ready to talk until about 2013, when I really wanted to go out here and start letting people get to know me as an author. And as I let people get to know me as an author, this is where I started to rediscover my voice. And as I rediscovered my voice, I started to learn to feel comfortable about speaking again. And I continued to speak, building a lot of momentum on social media, building a large base of subscribers that I built over time, talking about subjects that I'm passionate about, like comic books, black science fiction, and black fantasy, and talking about improving the black image as related to entertainment, and also talking about black issues. This is where I basically started to rediscover my voice, reconnect with people, and started to speak so strongly that I started to build up having collaborations with people like Obsidian at the time and many others, and I made appearances in places like the Judge Joe Brown Show, and I also made an appearance on Fox Soul. So my voice had gotten so strong that it was able to speak to an audience. Unfortunately, over the last couple of months, I have been running into people in the comment section who have a problem with the way that I speak, not understanding the journey that I went on to rediscover my voice. Now, these individuals do not understand how hard a journey it is for a person to rediscover their voice after losing it for years. They don't understand how hard it is to get that courage to speak again after being silenced by people over the years. silenced by people who would not only mock me but also look to put hands on me for just expressing opinions they don't like, because that's how rough it is in the black community as related to individuals. Whenever they hear somebody expressing an opinion they don't like, what these individuals look to do is look to try to push that black person out of the social circle and look to deny them their right to have their voice, because a lot of these black folks basically and non-black folks are still following the programs of white supremacy as related to looking to deny a black person their right to speak, because in their eyes they don't want to hear from another black person. No, what they want to do is silence a black person for just having their voice. And what they don't like are voices that are strong as related to refuting many of their anti-black narratives as related to the non-blacks and whites. And when it comes to many of black folks, they basically want a black person like myself to go silent so that they can go out and have their smooth world where they can continue to fit into the black box that's acceptable to black people and continue to push the anti-black narratives that make racists feel comfortable as related to their smooth world. So they don't want to see a black person presenting an intelligent discourse. No, they don't want you to see a black person presenting an intelligent discourse where they speak articulately. And these people basically, again, they want to passive aggressively look for ways to silence a black person, look to silence their voice so that they can basically be the ones who control the narrative as related to the black discourse. And these people, they basically want to use their voices to shout down other black voices, shout down other black voices to get black people in line with narratives that they want to feel comfortable about. And that's what they want to do to take away somebody's voice. But I won't let people take my voice away after I have fought so many years to get my voice back, because I understand how important it is for people, black people, to have their voice. And I understand what people in white supremacy and those spellbound black folks will do to silence a black person. They want to silence a black person who is going out here speaking against their narratives, or just having the courage to be able to speak on things that they want. And these people want to take power away from people like me. They want to take power away from people like me because they only want to be told what they want to hear. And in a lot of cases, they want to be told what they want to hear by the white supremacist. They want to be told what they want to hear that will make them feel comfortable. And the things that they feel comfortable about, they don't have a problem with. That doesn't sound robotic to them. No, what they want to hear is somebody getting loud and emotional, hear somebody just talking a lot of nonsense, and they don't want to hear anything intelligent, especially from a heterosexual black man like myself. So these individuals, whenever they see someone who doesn't fit into the black boxes that they're acceptable to white people, that doesn't make their world smooth, what these individuals, whether they be white or non-black, what they want to do is take away the voices of those black people. They want to take away those voices because they don't want people to hear people like me. They don't want people to hear someone like me speaking and talking for themselves. No, these people want to speak for me, and they want to take my power away as a black man, because the greatest power a person has out here is their voice, because when a person has their voice, they can speak for themselves. They can speak for themselves and tell people exactly what they want. And that's something I've come to appreciate in the years that I have been making videos. I have come to appreciate the ability to be able to finally speak once again and be able to tell people exactly what I want them to know about me, what I want them to know about the publications I make on the SJS Direct imprint, and tell them exactly who I am, not let people tell me who I am, because I know how cruel people can be when they tell you who you are, and they want to again cram you into a box where they tell you who you are and have you in that box being the failure they want you to be. Because when I was bullied, these people wanted to say that I was slow and handicapped and retarded, and I didn't want people to see that about me. No, I knew that I could be better, but the only way for me to be better is to, one, show people who I was by my actions, and two, let people know who I was by speaking for myself. I mean, this is about me taking my power and taking my power from those who want to try to dictate to me who I am and want to take my power away and take away my voice. And again, these people don't want to see voices like mine on social media. No, they only want to see a bunch of loud black folks talking about gender war, talking about big butt women, or getting passports to get with foreign women, or talking about sneakers or trap house music. They don't want to see intelligent black people who can speak for themselves, because that's a refutation of many of the stereotypes about black people, and a refutation that lets people know that a black person can be articulate and express their own thoughts and opinions to people, and let people know who they are in their own voice, tell the truth about who they are, tell the truth to the world about what's going on with them, tell a truth that lets everybody know what kind of person they are. And that's what I have been appreciating about having my voice once more. That's what I appreciate about having my voice again and again. I wasn't able to use my voice for years, and I'm really appreciating the chance that I get to talk to people finally, because this is something I've wanted to do for years. I mean, I think about, again, the power of voice and the power and the impact of a voice. And again, it's something that people take for granted because we talk all the time, but it's not until you are forced to keep your mouth shut as related to things that you really start to appreciate your voice. And you appreciate your voice because, again, you finally get a chance to speak for yourself. That was something I couldn't do in the 1980s due to not only the high school bullies, but also the drug dealers in the neighborhood. But these days, those people are long gone, and I finally get a chance to finally talk for myself and empower myself by using my voice. And that's something that people, again, I want them to understand how important it is, because you don't know what powerlessness is until you have lost your voice. You don't know what powerlessness is until you cannot speak for yourself, because you're so afraid of dealing with repercussions from other individuals who look to use physical force to silence you. You don't know what that is until you've been under that type of terrorism. That's the type of terrorism I dealt with in school and dealt with as related to the crack epidemic of the 80s. And that's why I appreciate the freedom to be able to talk to people online about having your voice, because your voice is something important. It's you speaking for yourself. And this is something many black people don't appreciate because of the oppression we suffer in black communities by people who look to shout us down, people who look to shout us down and look to silence us, to get us to go along with their agendas that don't fit us at all. This is something I want black people to understand. Again, you have a voice, you have power in your voice, and you should never let anybody take away your voice, and never let anybody take away your ability to speak for yourself, because when they do that, they take away your power. That was one of the points I wanted to make in the novel Spellbound about black people, because spellbound black people, they look to fit you into their box so that you will be acceptable to white people, so that they don't get their world upset, and they look to silence anyone who doesn't fit into their box and make everybody walk lockstep as related to things, from wearing the same clothes to wearing the same hairstyles to basically not being able to express yourself due to the de facto social fascism that goes on in black communities. And this is the type of individual who wants to take away your voice and again wants to make social media a place where all we see is one type of black, where all we see are a bunch of black people again participating in the socially acceptable boxes such as gender war videos, such as back and forth YouTube beefs, twerking videos, and other assorted content like trap house music, again not looking to have that intelligent discourse, because any expression of intelligence upsets many of these individuals because it shows them a larger world than the one that was told to them by the white supremacists who look to dictate the narratives of social media. So they don't want to see people like me being able to speak. They don't want to see people like me having a voice. And what I'm seeing these days is an attempt to try to silence someone like myself. And I also saw a goth woman have to deal with the same thing with these types of individuals. So I know how bad it is with these type of individuals. They want to come out here and play backseat directors or backseat people, and again, add nothing to the discourse. Again, they want to go out here and push somebody off a platform because they don't want to hear me being able to speak. They just want to be able to have their kind of content on the platform in an echo chamber where they can see ignorance all the time. And they don't want a person to speak not understanding the struggles that that person went through to be able to get to that point, not understanding the struggles someone like me went through to get to this point. I mean, it was a long journey for me to get here, and I'm not planning on leaving. No, I gotta take a stand because I understand what is at stake as related to losing your voice. I understand if somebody takes away your voice, they take away your power. And again, if they take away your power, they have the ones who are going to be speaking for you. And from someone who has experienced people speaking for me, I understand that when people speak for you, they're not speaking in your best interest, but their own. And a lot of times these opportunists basically want to take advantage of someone and take advantage of someone by having control over the discourse, because if that person can't speak for themselves, they can't really say what they want. But when you speak for yourself, you can say specifically what you want. And sometimes you have to stand up to people and let them know that they're not going to push you off a platform and not be able to dictate to you what you say and how you say it. Because if you're not saying what they want, they can just go click out and go somewhere else, and that's what they can do. But these people don't want to do this because, again, these people, they don't really want to hear anything but the things they want to hear. And again, you can't let these people take away my voice, because I understand, again, the struggle that goes through it. There's a struggle to be able to speak for yourself, and most people don't appreciate that until their voice is taken. And that's not something I would wish on anyone. No, I wouldn't wish you losing your voice, because I know what that means as related to losing your power. I know what it is to lose your voice, and that's why I continue to keep speaking in the face of all of this adversity and continue to persevere in the face of this adversity, because I understand the power of voice and the power of voice that impacts on people. Now, if you want to support me and my work, you can pick up my books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, and you can pick up my comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, on Lulu.com by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to see me be able to make more videos and stay on the platforms, you can drop a donation to Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App to help me stay on the air and continue using my voice to continue to speak out on things that I'm passionate about. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and Kindle. Vampires stalk the darkness of the Eternal Night. Get your copy of Eternal Night in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.